friends, it's Christine, and today I want to teach you how to make the camel crochet stitch. This is a really nice stitch with knit look rows. It's really great for dishcloths, hats, scarves, and even blankets. Are you ready? Let's get started. Alright, so to get started, we're going to make a slip knot and start with any number of chains. It can be odd or even number, it does not matter. For this particular stitch, I started with 25 chains, but you can start with whatever number is comfortable for you. So go ahead and pause this video, make your desired number of chains, and meet me back here and we'll start row 1 together. Right, so now that you got your starting chain, it is time to start the very first row of this stitch tutorial. So you're going to start by working into the second chain from the hook, and you're going to make 1 half double crochet in that second chain from the hook. And to continue this row, you're just going to make 1 half double crochet in the next chain and in each chain all the way across until you've reached the end of your chain. So go ahead and pause this video, make 1 half double crochet in each chain across, and meet me back here to start row 2 of our practice swatch. Now that you've got a half double crochet in each chain across, it is time to start row 2. So go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Now the chain 1 in this tutorial will never count as a stitch, although we will chain 1 at the end of every row. Before we begin row 2, I just want to use my tapestry needle to show you a few things first. So a half double crochet actually has 3 loops, all right? So we've got the 2 top loops, right? You have this loop here and then this loop in the back. And when we make our stitches, we normally insert our hook under both of these loops on the top, right? However, for this particular stitch, we're actually not going to be using either one of these 2 loops on the top, okay? So right now we have the wrong side of our work facing us, and that third loop can actually be found right here on the side that's facing us, okay? And that third loop is right here where you see me inserting my tapestry needle. This is where we are going to be making our stitches for this entire row, okay? So we're not going to be working into either of these top 2 loops, okay? Again, this is where we normally make our stitches, but we are not going to insert our hook there. We are going to instead insert our hook into this loop that is facing us. All right, so go ahead and grab your crochet hook, and we're going to make our very first stitch of this row in that third loop that I was just showing you. So again, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work if you have not done that already. And once again, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to go ahead and make that first half double crochet. Again, we're working into this, this front loop that's facing us. And there's our first half double crochet in that front loop, okay? So for the next stitch, that's the loop we're going to work into. We are not going to be working under these top 2 loops here, okay? So we're going to just be working in this loop that you see here on the front. And I messed up. Okay, there we go. I had to yarn over first. All right, and now we're going to make our second half double crochet in this third loop. All right, so for the remainder of this row, you are going to continue working in this front loop here every stitch. So make a half double crochet in every stitch in this, I keep calling it the front loop, but it really is the third loop of the half double crochet. So go ahead and pause the video. Meet me back here once you've made 1 half double crochet in this third loop all the way across, and then we will begin row 3 together. Oh, but I do want to show you really quickly. So when we are working in this third loop, you can see how, remember I said that we are not working under the top 2 loops? Well, by working under that third loop, it pushes those top 2 loops out to the front of our work here. And you can see where I'm inserting my tapestry needle. And it just pushes them out to the front, and you have this nice braid or knit looking row on the front of your work now. So once again, go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in this third loop in every stitch all the way across. You can go ahead and pause the video, and I'll meet you back here and we'll start row 3 together. All right, so once you've made that second row of half double crochet in that third loop, this is what the back side of your work is going to look like. And if you flip it over, you can see this really pretty braid on the front of our work now, and those are the top 2 loops that I was pointing out before that have been pushed out to the front of our work. So to start row 3, again, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and once again, as I've stated, our chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Okay, so once again, I'm using my tapestry needle to better show you how we are going to work this row. All right, so once again, here are our top 2 loops, right? These are the top 2 loops that we normally look for, that we normally work into when we are making regular old half double crochet stitches. However, for this tutorial, we are working in the 3rd loop, and since we are working on, since we've turned our work and we're working from the other side now, that 3rd loop can now be found on the back side of our work, okay? And for me, at least in my opinion, it is a little trickier to work into the 3rd loop from the back here. You do have to kind of turn your work over towards you so that you can find that 3rd loop easier. But you can see I'm inserting my hook into these 3rd loops on the other side, and that's where we're going, or my tapestry needle, I'm sorry, but that is where we're going to be inserting our hook and making our half double crochets for this 3rd row. All right, so let's make our first stitch of this row. So again, these are the top 2 loops. We are not working into these. If you turn your work over to face you, you can see this 3rd loop here. And I am already struggling with trying to insert my hook into this loop. I told you guys that it is trickier to work from this side. There we go. All right, so making our first half double crochet in the 3rd loop of this row. All right, so let's do that again, making our 2nd stitch now. So here is the 3rd loop. Again, you're turning your work to face you. That is our 3rd loop right there. These are the top 2 loops. Again, we are ignoring those and turning our work to face us so that we can access this 3rd loop on the back side a little easier. And again, I am struggling. All right, so yarn over and insert your hook into the stitch and make a half double crochet in this next 3rd loop of the next half double crochet stitch. There, it doesn't seem to be as bad. Once you get past that first stitch, I always find the first stitch to be the most difficult, and then after that, they're not quite as tricky. All right, and once again, we are looking for that 3rd loop on the back side of our work here. So go ahead and make your 3rd half double crochet and work it into the 3rd loop there. Now for the remainder of this row, you will continue making 1 half double crochet in the 3rd loop in each stitch all the way across. Again, you are searching for the 3rd loop on the back side of your work now. Since the previous row we were working from that 3rd loop was right in front of us, but now that we've turned our work, the 3rd loop is on the back side of our work. So go ahead and pause the video. Continue working 1 half double crochet in the 3rd loop all the way across, and then I will meet you back here to start row, I think we're going to be on row 4 together. Okay, so once you've completed that 3rd row and you look at the right side of your work, you can see these really nice knit look ridges on the right side. And then if you flip your work over to the back side, it just looks kind of flat on the back side, but you have these really nice knit look ridges on the front, and that's the look that we are going for. So if you haven't already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. Now, again, we have the wrong side of our work facing us once again. So now that 3rd loop is also going to be facing us. So remember, here's the top 2 loops. Totally ignoring those. We are not going to be working into those at all. We're going to be working into this 3rd loop. And again, since we're working from the wrong side, that 3rd loop is conveniently placed in front of us. And in my opinion, much easier to work. All right, so for the duration of this practice swatch, you are just going to repeat rows 2 and row 3. You're going to alternate, I guess I should say, alternate rows 2 and 3 over and over again until your practice swatch is your desired size. So just remember, when you're working from the wrong side, as we are right now, that 3rd loop is going to be facing you. That 3rd loop is also going to be on the wrong side. However, when you turn your work and you're working from the right side, that 3rd loop is going to be on the back side of the work. So you're going to have to turn your work towards you in order to more easily access that 3rd loop. Okay, so I'm going to leave you to finish your practice swatch on your own now. Remember, you're just going to alternate between rows 2 and 3 until your practice swatch is the size that you want it to be. I really hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I hope you enjoyed learning this new stitch. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!